premeditated intentions to shoot the homeless man. And they did indeed do that and then let the dog, after he was already dead, bite him and have a little bit of enjoyment. Another one, Florida woman arrested for possession of SpaghettiOs. They said the SpaghettiOs look like methamphetamine. Cop sees car when told to get a warrant. Tell owner that that's what he gets for exercising his rights, close quote. That's on the dash cam. Oh, you need a warrant to search my car. Okay, I'm just going to seize your car. No, of course, no drugs were found. No, nothing. Just, of course, who ships the drugs in? Another one, Pennsylvania cop sued for storming home and arresting woman for video recording them out of her own home in the street. I mean, this is the craziness. And the reason police have been told to do this and act like this is because the power structure wants to convert us to a police state, wants to convert us to a total totalitarian program. The inventor of the internet, no, not Al Gore, the real British inventor, has gone public worldwide and says we're going into a planetary tyranny. He used those words. You can look it up. William Binney used the words total totalitarianism, Big Brother, 1984 on steroids. He comes on the show now 3 times. Well, he's been on with David Knight twice, so 5 times. And it just sounds like me. He's the former director of intelligence at the NSA, number 3 or number 4, a director of the NSA, and he sounds more hardcore than me. And then I break down how I think it's really all working and operating. I don't want to sound arrogant. I know how it works. And he goes, yes, exactly, precisely, exactly, precisely. I have former CIA commanders on. They go, yes, exactly, precisely. Because I'm not bragging. I'm saying we're just confirming our intel, our analysis is spot on. Because all I've done is sit here and study this for a very long time. Believe me, anybody, if they immerse themselves for 22 years, 20 years on air, 6, 7 days a week, anybody does what I've done who isn't mentally retarded, and you'll be an expert on all this stuff. That's why they're scared. See, it seems like we're so far behind down the rat hole in tyranny that we can never come back. That's not how it works. It flips, folks. Once you get a certain amount awake, it's boom. Because it's so obvious, it's so over the top, that they have that on us, that it's so over the top. Until it flips, then that's against them. You see what I'm saying? It's like a judo move. They go over the top so we can't believe it's happening, but if we ever wake up, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, is kind of the analogy. And if people ever wake up out of their trance, they're going to be fully awake. It's kind of like, have you ever been halfway going to sleep and then somebody can't wake you up because you were trying to go to sleep? But then if you've been in a deep dream, you can pop out of it fully awake? It's kind of like that. We're in such a deep dream, historically this has happened before, that if we come out of it, it's, whoa, I'm in the Matrix. This is incredible. That's the point we're reaching. And that's why the establishment is so desperate going, okay, mercury's good for your brain. Okay, your kids don't belong to you. 2 + 2 = 5 or 7 or whatever we say. And world government's good, but it doesn't exist. They're trying to just get you used to now all the craziness. They're trying to acclimate you. It's psychological warfare. But if you're aware of the psychological warfare, it's game over. So their attempt to train the military to confiscate our guns and round up liberty lovers and set up brigades homeland under Northcom, in the last 6 years, it accelerated under Obama, undoubtedly. What do you think took the military from 50% awake to 90% awake? And I've had Colonel Schaefer, countless others, that they go, that's the number, 90+%. I'm not just saying that. What took them from 50% awake to 90%? Being called into briefing rooms and trained to take guns and told George Washington's bad. It's the over-the-topness of it. But what are they going to do? They're going to take down America. I'm getting chills right now. I really am getting chills right now. It's just so epic what we're in the middle of. And if we just wake up to it, it's incredible. It's incredible that we could beat them. We could turn the tide. It doesn't mean we'll be in a utopia. It doesn't mean everything will be perfect. But we could stop a real offensive to really bring in hardcore tyranny. But let me tell you, the reason I get chills is, I don't want to say I'm scared because I'm not. It's the opposite. But it's like fear. It's braced. Like when you know you're about to get in a fight with a really mean guy and you're not scared, you're just getting ready. It's an electricity. Because I realize, folks, I'm deader than a box of rocks if we don't turn this around. And your pension funds, your future's gone too. I mean, it's so real. It's for everything. That's why I see men getting all psyched up about a Super Bowl game and they've got their tickets going in and they've got that same male energy that's meant to defend their family and their country. And they're, my team's going to win. That tribal energy is for what's happening now for real enemies, folks. So for me, it's like I'm playing in the Super Bowl every single day. It's like I am, and then I don't feel adequate. I don't feel like I'm worthy because it's so epic. That's why I say, please don't tell me I'm doing a good job. And I don't want to talk about myself either. It's just that I think the way to wake people up is to have that personal experience and just share with you what I've gone through. I didn't believe a lot of this stuff 20 years ago. I was like a mainline Republican. And then I was a libertarian. And I was like, it's all real. So I'm radical because the truth is radical. And so they've miscalculated. If 50% of the cops were awake probably 10 years ago, now it's like 65, 70. And that's a conservative number because they're now seeing it's all real and they can feel it's bad. They know it's not good. They know it's not freedom. And they see bad guys being brought in and put in charge. They see corruption being allowed to operate. They see it. They're creeped out by it. They just are alone like we are. They don't know what to do. They've destroyed our culture of freedom. They've atomized us. I'm going to go to Dr. Group on Ebola. I'm ranting. But Dr. Group, before we get into Ebola and the shocking news on that front today, talking about the awakening. I mean, I've had dinner with you, hung out with you and your wife last week when you were here in town. You're a really smart guy. You were in Army Special Operations, did a lot of interesting things. You've seen behind the curtain. What do you call this awakening? And am I overestimating it or underestimating it?
No, I think that, you know, like yourself, I mean, I'm really involved at looking at more or less the eugenics part of it, how everything ties together with the healthcare. Hey, I was, like you said, you were a Republican. I was all into pharmaceuticals and wanted to be a medical doctor until I started finding out the truth and started digging deeper and digging deeper. And now I'm looking at it as, what's going on and how this is affecting the masses all over the world. And I think that we're at a tipping point. I mean, we're at the maximum. Well, I wouldn't say maximum, but like you said, I mean, even
we're approaching the maximum. We're approaching event horizon.
Houston, I'm starting to see Homeland Security cars driving around. We have a whole building being built downtown for Homeland Security. So you see Homeland Security working with the local police departments. But at the same time, I have Houston Police Department officers that come by here that tell me that they see what's going on inside. They are waking up. So it's a 50-50 thing. You have the positive and the negative. Sometimes you have more negative, and then all of a sudden you'll have more positive. So it's really, I would say, the strongest fight right now in healthcare, in politics, I mean, all the way around, which is happening, and people are waking up. I'd like to think people would wake up a little bit faster, but the main thing that I've been focusing on is teaching people how to wake up by getting healthier and supporting their body's natural immune system and supporting their self-healing mechanism, because really that's what it all comes down to. I mean, if you look at every single aspect that the globalists have used through poisoning the air and the food and the water, I mean, it's all designed really to dumb you down, to make you mentally retarded, to, lower your IQ levels, to affect your body so you're sick, to instill fear into your system, which drops your immune system by 50%. So getting the word out to people about how they can keep their immune system strong, how they can keep their bodies clean, how they can avoid all that, how they, just knowing the information, how they can protect themselves against fear. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things out here, with this Ebola.
The way I do it is I take action against something, and then that calms me down and makes me feel good.
Well, exactly. I'm not scared of anything because I've taken action, and many of your listeners have taken action too. They know what to do. I mean, if you know what to do with an Ebola outbreak, if you know what to do with a pandemic, you've prepared for all that. You've got food storage. You've got a place to go. You've stocked up on, silver. You've stocked up on iodine. You've stocked up on the things that are going to protect your cells, DNA force, all that stuff that's there to protect you and to boost your own immune system and to keep your body strong, and you have a plan, then there's nothing to fear. I mean, you know, if you understand how the globalists and how all those individuals operate, you know, and you just look at why are they breaking all the rules here? Why is Obama signing executive order to, you know, that can force
That's it. They're moving on all fronts now. They don't care anymore. I've never seen so much corruption. What does that signify to you as an indicator?
Just the fact of how they've handled this Ebola situation. If you look at the supposedly pandemics in the past with swine flu, H1N1, I would say this is by far the worst scenario that we've been in, just because the way the government and the World Health Organization is handling the situation, bringing people into uninfected countries. I mean, this is like insane. You quarantine an area with a potential pandemic.